Okay, guys, I wanted to talk to you about why God testing you because since inception, God, I said that in the past, that God has been at war, and He just want to know, if people what they hold in their heart against God, and so God give you a benefit of the doubt, and everybody thinks the house of Abraham were not tested, you know. Before God, reward of the Abraham, or his bloodline, he was tested. Abraham was tested as well. So was Moses, so was David, Noah, you know all of them, Solomon and Abraham, and so including Jesus. Jesus was tested as well. You understand? So people think, when people say, you know, Jesus is King of Kings, and he is God, or he's a son of God, and whatever that these people are believing in, that's not true. It's symbolic. When we say we're the children of God, it's symbolic. You know, it does not mean it's actually God. Got together and with his wife and gave birth to us. You understand? No, it's not like that. So all of these people are believing. Okay, all of these people are believing things are not true. In the Holy Quran, God says, قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. You understand? It's very clear. Meaning, God have not have children, married, or have a wife. You understand? And He has not given birth to anybody or created anything. No, He created humans like as His children. You understand? So I've been stand corrected. The other day I told you, God, when He breathes in our nostril, He gives you life and stuff. But it goes against the teaching, because God is not within anything, and God does not need anything. So God is not inside of you, and yeah, God is not inside of you. God did not breathe into your nostril, give you life, because that means He is inside of you, right? That was not God. Anyhow, that was the because God created. Okay, God created all creation. He created the angels, and the stuff, and He created them to specifically govern a specific part. Okay, creation came. He created the sun and the moon, and the sun and the moon created humanity. You understand? So that was not God, because that means if He breathed in your nostril, that means God is inside of you. And it says in the Bible, God is not inside anything. He's not in anything. You understand? So it's not accurate what I said to you. God exists outside of creation. You understand? So there's creation. Creation is limited. He exists outside of creation. He could never be inside the creation, right? But He governed creation, but He's not inside of creation. So when you see the sunflower plant, the sunflower, when it's facing the sun, because the sun is directly linked. The sun is directly linked to God. So the sun, and when the pyramids, all the pyramids were facing the sun. Is it east west? Is it east or west? The sun comes from the east or the west? I can't remember. But anyhow, so the pyramids are facing where the sun comes from, understand? So that why they were actually strategically put or placed, right? So humanity was created by the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon are not God. Were created by God. The sun and the moon were created by God, and God does not exist within anything. As I said, I think I told you the other day, when He breathes on our nostril, it was not God who breathed on our nostril, and so anyhow, I believe it came from the Great Mother, which is associated with the moon, and I believe that she directly the one responsible for giving life to humanity. So anyhow, that's my idea. This is my because it does not make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. God would say He, in a verse, He says He does not exist within anything, but yet He given humanity life. You understand? And the other thing is I want to talk about, you know what? Why I question things, because why I'm being targeted so hard, because I'm refusing to reform, and because I'm the person who questions things. It's a normal behavior. When God, created us, we came from the sun and the moon. The sun and moon were created by God. You understand? So when God created, so if you go follow this path, like who created what, in the end you're gonna find the source. You're gonna find who created all of this creation. And so it makes sense. In the beginning of creation, humanity were asking a lot of questions to God about who we were, and asking things about the universe, the stars, and God answers all the questions except for one question. I think I mentioned it to you guys before. What question did God did not answer? I mentioned it. But anyhow, the only question God did not answer, and He says pretty much in a nutshell, He says, none of your business. Pretty much that's what He said. He says, ruh meaning the soul. He says, what is the soul? And God says, الروح بعلم ربي. That meaning only God knows what the ruh is. Basically, it's none of your business. You don't need to know this. You understand? In a nutshell. Okay? But every question, and He made books. Holy books. There are only 4 holy books. And people are linking them to, Mesopotamia, they're linking to the Anunnaki, but, all of that. No, there are only 4 holy books. Okay? The Bible is being altered left and right. They add a book, remove a book. Why there's so many books of the Bible? God sent only one book. Why you have to have all these different books? Why you have to have all these different books? Mormon book, the Catholic book, and I don't know all the books. Okay, guys. I'm not a Christian, but all these books, why? Why is confusion? Okay, God is not a God of confusion. He did not confuse people. Satan did. You understand? Because Satan is after humanity. You understand? We are his enemy. Why? Because he despises God and he wants to reign like God. You understand? And that's why he's hurting his creation. God, Satan is hurting God's creation. Look, why you have to mislead people? Because that's the name of the game. He is just, this is the way he is, and he's been nothing but a troublemaker, instigator of things, and that was going on, guys. So the only question did not God did never answer what it was. What's the soul? He never really said what it is. Okay, but every question you'll find many interpretation what the soul is, but you can never find a definite answer. This interpretation is based on a person's perception. It's based on a person's beliefs. You know what I mean? I think it means this. I think that person would say a different thing, and stuff. It's all the interpretation of humanity. Like they try to understand what it is and guessing what it is. You understand? Interpreting something, but you without knowing what it is. You understand? Nobody knows what it is. Okay? Anyhow, that's in a nutshell, and I know I've been telling you guys not to forgive your enemy, but because I know how the enemy operates. The enemy are don't deserving. They're not deserving of your forgiveness. You understand? So that's why I'm telling you guys, because they told me they don't care. They told me many times they do not care. Why would you forgive somebody who does not care? You understand? Because they don't really care. Okay? That's the main point of it. They keep they keep cooking you and doing your stuff to you, do you wrong, in hope that they'll break you to get you to give them what they want. Forgiveness. Hey, you are entitled to give it freely. They even told you in a movie, The Good Fortune of Keanu Reeves. He says, the angel, she says, you have to trade free with your own free will. You cannot be made to change. You understand? So watch the movie Good Fortune of Keanu Reeves. You understand what I'm telling you.